is here. I don't know. Q&A and chat. One second, switch this off.
I'll just take a minute and be back. I'm just streaming it this live on Facebook. Just give me a minute, please.
Thanks, baby.
Call me.
Thanks, darling.
Oh, that was kissing in public.
That was kissing in public. My to-be daughter-in-law.
The hair is great, Mom.
Well, I have to kiss because she did my hair yesterday. She blow dried it.
Okay, so I've streamed this live on Facebook and we have 348, 352 participants. We'll just give ourselves another 5 minutes since we promised to start at 3 p.m. And this room will be full and then people will join Facebook Live. In the meantime, if you want, Lina and Swati ma'am, you could also share it from ScooNews page so that your followers could also watch it live on your
How do I do that? Just explain to me.
Just go on ScooNews Facebook.
1 second, my Tina Masi is calling me at this time when I don't need it.
So you can actually mute and stop the video and then take the call.
Hi, Tina Masi.
Hi.
Sridhar, I'm going live on a webinar. She calls me just
Okay.
when I'm about to go live. Just explain to me how to share it. So I go to my Facebook page.
You go on ScooNews Facebook page.
So I've gone on ScooNews. Yeah.
You will see that ScooNews is live. You just simply need to share. And if you want to add some text to it, you can add there.
So how do I share it?
You like and share, comment and share button is there.
I'm looking for it.
Just the way you share any Facebook post on your timeline.
So share to group.
No, share to your own timeline.
Right, post.
Yeah, if you want to add something that I'm going live on webinar or something, you can type that and then click on share. Swati ma'am, you could also do that if you want.
Okay, I've done it to my Facebook page. Okay.
Okay, so we are 495, 497, 499.
And we are all in.
And we are all in. Okay, this is mic testing. Can you all hear me? Swati ma'am, Lina ma'am? Can you
I
please?
can. I would love it if you can stop calling me ma'am, though.
Okay, Lina, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wonderful. Swati ma'am, can you hear me and can you see?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you.
So there is an unquoted no shave challenge for all men in India. So, I mean, you'll have to bear with this ugly face for the next hour or so.
Actually not looking like a schoolboy anymore.
Thank you, Lina. So, Vinay, just show everyone your face and say hi, and I'll start from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Vinay K. Singh. He is the Vice President Operations at ScooNews and pretty much the boss here. Okay, so I'll take 2 minutes. The format is such that I will take 2 minutes for saying something, sharing what we are doing, and then introduce the panelists, and then some hygiene, I mean, what to do and what not to do on this call. Then Lina will start for, say, 7 to 10 minutes. After that, Dr. Swati Popat Vats will again speak for 7 to 10 minutes, and then we'll open the floor for questions. So I will run you through all the means I'm in here. So hello everyone, namaste, and welcome to today's session. My name is Ravi Santlani, and I'm the founder of ScooNews, India's largest media platform for the education sector. Yes, we are the largest. Before I introduce you all to our presenters today, I'd like to share what we at ScooNews are doing during this lockdown. So here's a little story. A friend in Mumbai, Vaibhav Chabda, and his beautiful wife Richa, who runs this community maker space called Makers Asylum, reached out to me last week and requested me if I could promote their campaign through our network. They have been making face shields and helping thousands of doctors, paramedics, and police personnel who are fighting this pandemic on the front line. I'm sure a lot of you would be wondering what face shield is. This is the face shield, and I'm going to wear this. So we happily did that, and also asked them if we can help in any other ways. And Vaibhav and Richa instantly answered and asked me to start this production in Jaipur and help save lives of our doctors, paramedics, and police personnel. We didn't waste even a single minute after that and started sourcing raw material and started manufacturing and assembling these face shields at our office. Since past 3 days, we have manufactured more than 4,600 face shields and have distributed to hospitals and to police force who are deputed at the high-risk areas. We have been able to do this via crowdfunding, where many good Samaritans came forward and helped us with funds. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank them all. We love our country, and this is the time to show how much. This is our way of giving back to the society. And I'd like to ask you all to think, what is yours? And with that, let's shift our focus to webinar now. We have over 2,200 attendees registered for this webinar and are live with us both on Zoom and Facebook Live. Thank you all for your interest. And I'd like to introduce today's presenters, Dr. Swati Popat Vats and Lina Ashar. We don't need to introduce them, but then again, there are a few people who have joined us from London, Ghana, and a lot of other countries. For them, Dr. Swati Popat Vats is the founder president of Early Childhood Association India, an association that works for quality care and education of our youngest citizens, that is 0 to 6 years. She's also the president for Association for Primary Education and Research. And Dr. Vats is also the president of Podar Education Network, and she leads over 498 preschools and daycares as founder director of Podar Jumbo Kids. She's also the national representative for the World Forum Foundation. We were together in Macau last year. We had a great time together. And she's nursery director of Little Wonders Nursery, UAE, that has branches in Jumeirah and Sharjah. Whereas Lina Ashar is an Indian educationist, entrepreneur, and writer based in Mumbai. She's founder of Kangaroo Kids International Preschool and Billabong High International School. The journey from one Kangaroo Kids Preschool to a network of Kangaroo Kids Preschools and Billabong High International Schools across 29 different cities in India, as well as in Dubai, Maldives, and Qatar, has been a phenomenal one. Lina's unique approach, injection of potent solutions, and radical processes to ensure that the quality of education is improved has been well received and noted. So, ladies and gentlemen, a few points that you need to listen very carefully. The format is such where once I will finish speaking, Lina will speak for 7 to 10 minutes, and then Dr. Swati will get her 7 to 10 minutes to speak, post which we will open the floor to questions. Remember, hashtag Ask Swalina, yeah? So that's the format today. I'm sure, a lot of you have questions, that you need to ask these mentors and the powerhouses of early childhood care and education. And hence, we reached out to both of them and they happily agreed to it. And if you're facing bandwidth issues, we suggest that you turn off the video so that you can listen to the audio with a better clarity. We'd love to hear from you. If you are attending via Zoom, you can use the Q&A button and Q&A button and Q&A button only. There is a chat window. The panelists are not looking at that, but Q&A button is the one where you need to push and click and ask only relevant questions, which you think, are the ones, which the entire community is facing, and that's the button is at the bottom of your screen, and the presenters will try to answer your questions if time allows. A recorded version of this webinar will be available on our Facebook page @ScooNews, and we shall send you an email too with the YouTube link. You can follow Dr. Swati, Popat, Vats, and Lina, Ashar on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts, and interact with them there if you have any questions post this webinar. For those of you just joining, welcome and enjoy the webinar. Over to you, lovely ladies. Lina, you have to start first.
Okay, I'm just telling somebody to go to Facebook because they don't know, they can't get on.
Okay.
So I just advise them to go to Facebook. Okay, so I think this is an opportunity for education in a big way. I think it suddenly opened up the world for parents as well as for teachers to leapfrog ahead in using technology to teach. Something, I've been advocating for a very long time, Ravi, from the days when I was doing the ScooNews conference till today. Just read on the intensity of what I want to say today. So I'm just going to read out a few excerpts from articles I've been writing. And the reason I'm reading them out is for us to understand that there's actually a great opportunity for us to go forward in the world in a way that's more collaborative rather than competitive, in a way that's more loving and kind than it has been in the past. So September 6, 2019, I wrote for Curriculum, the India Education Landscape. And I wrote, I never really think about life and my soul's work in terms of competition. What I look for is creating the maximum impact I can. In the current brick and mortar scenario of learning, I cannot create the transformational impact that I would like. So that just kind of leaves us open for what kind of transformational impact can we create for the kids in the remotest areas of India, thanks to us using technology to teach. Man is hardwired for scarcity, and this was as true as it was when I developed a new concept in learning. Parents feel safer to stay with the familiar no matter how illogical it is. So while parents were pushing back using technology to date, suddenly they're embracing it, and we're getting great positive reviews on the way we're using technology at Kangaroo Kids and Billabong High to teach kids during this period. As a society, we are quick to embrace development in every area of our existence, except in schools. Looking at technology with suspicion is similar to looking at a lighter with suspicion and preferring to rub two sticks together in an attempt to light a fire. The greatest learning occurs if we view challenges positively and work out how to draw the learning from them and how to rise over them to the next level. Paulo Coelho's book, The Alchemist, has a powerful phrase that I live by. It's a force that appears to be negative, but actually shows you how to realize your destiny. And I completely believe that this period of what we're going through will spearhead the way forward. And technology has got the great potential to dematerialize education, which is something that we really, really do need in India. For India Today on October 23rd, 2019, I wrote, "Success, a lifelong objective, is planted in the minds of young children at a fairly young age. Guided by notions of monetary and material value, children are sent down a path that could bear little meaning to their lives. So to what end should we task our children with the pursuit of success? Children who grow up following their parents' expectations often find themselves lacking in self-made goals. Like a weight on the back of a child, expectations can cause irrevocable harm. A study in the US found that the rate of depression and suicides amongst teenagers and young adults has increased exponentially. The competition among peers has spiked and the requirement for better grades has spiked, but so has the stress and anxiety. The education system needs to be reformed. Therefore, it has become imperative that we redefine the measures and meaning of success. Success in terms of personal goals, success in terms of mental and physical health, success in terms of happiness. And I always keep quoting that happiness and being affluent are not the same thing. The determination to do well and achieve success can be a powerful tool if not convoluted by the weight of expectation. As parents and educators, it is vital that we fix the notions of success so that it may liberate our children. By shifting the measure of success, children can start to grow in a manner that is more suitable for the world today. And more suitable for the world today is not competition, it is actually collaboration. This is something I wrote on Jan 6th, 2020 for Hindustan Times. Our earth began as a sanctuary for all life. Every other creature works with nature in such a way that it produces more resources for the next generation than it consumes. Every worm, insect, animal works for the ecological well-being of our planet. Every creature except man, who are supposed to be the most intelligent species. It is said that nature is our biggest teacher because every aspect of nature has a lesson for us. So that's in terms of what's actually going on in the world today. If you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you'll watch my posts, and I'm actually coming from a spirit of hope and optimism that the challenges we are facing today will fundamentally shift the way we see the world in a much kinder format. About a year ago, I started working with the team at Kangaroo Kids to develop a new curriculum. So in 2020, we reimagine and recreate a whole new concept in learning. Just want to give you just one or two sentences from the concept note, so it gives you an idea of the direction we're moving in. One opportunity we have is that with academic inflation and the fact that degrees and diplomas no longer hold the significance they once did and will continue to be devalued, we will increasingly have the opportunity to build world-class learning experiences from the content we cover to the success behaviors we instill and the learner high engagement experiences we can increasingly offer. The ICANN 17C learning system is our response to the fourth industrial revolution. This is our response to ensuring we protect our children from some of the pitfalls this unprecedented development can bring, and yet allow them to thrive in a world that will have a lot of promise for those that have learned to harness the distraction, make the correct choices, and shape their own destinies. This new era can be either seen with trepidation and fear, in which humans will be displaced by machines, or with excitement, and one in which we see machines as radically empowering the human role and allowing humans to be free from performing routine, mundane tasks and having more time to do what they love. With that, I'll hand it back to you.
Right.
That was good. Yes, Ravi?
Please, your time starts now.
Oh, thank you so much. Namaskar, everybody. It is such a pleasure that ScooNews has taken this initiative to get Lina and me both on the same platform. It's a true honor, Lina, to be here with you. And I'm so happy to see that educators, especially early childhood educators, are making the most of this lockdown by attending these kind of webinars, Zoom sessions, Google Classrooms, etc. That goes to show that the faith that we have in early childhood education is well invested. I'm going to talk about ECCE. As a generation of parents and teachers, we have always been more focused on IQ. We want children to get grades and marks and percentages, and we're so obsessed with it that somewhere we've forgotten about learning, about knowledge development. So for me, I have a new definition or an equation for IQ. It's called EQ plus CQ plus TQ plus PQ is equal to IQ. So I'll tell you how this comes about. ECCE. Let's just take that acronym, ECCE. It usually stands for Early Childhood Care and Education. I have another version for it. E, according to me, stands for emotions. And it's very important at this stage, or any stage in which, whether Froebel went through a stage, or Steiner, or Montessori, they always stressed more on emotions. It's very important for us to look after the emotional development of children. And to do that, we will need teachers and parents who themselves are emotionally developed. So when I talk to teachers of my schools or any other schools, I always say, first, it's always about looking at yourself. What are you feeling? Are you angry? Are you happy? Are you upset? Because you will have to learn to first label and control your emotion before you will be able to help that child develop emotionally. So remember the E, the first E in ECCE stands for emotion. The C, according to me, stands for communication and change. It's very important for us as adults to realize that the words that we speak have a huge impact on children. They kind of fall into the creases of their hearts and their crevices of their mind, because they will rest there forever. So when you use harsh words, when you use criticism, it's not going to have a good impact on children. We may talk all about blended learning and this and that and all, but how are we approaching it where our communication to children is concerned? Very important in today's day, in today's lockdown. Are we communicating enough with the parents, children, and teachers? Or are we only going to talk to them about online learning, home-based learning, homeschool learning? It's very important that we communicate to them, and communication is a two-way process. For example, at Jumbo Kids, we started our online home-based learning today, and we were very, very interested to know what the parents are saying about it. Yes, we had a few wins, but we also had a few feedbacks, because every parent is not ready for this kind of a change. And it's very important to understand that change, when we talk about change, change starts with inconvenience. You are always going to be inconvenienced because of the change, because you had something else in your mind, and now somebody is telling you to do something else. You're not ready for it. Okay, now everybody else is doing it, so I will do it. But it starts with inconvenience. So it's very important to accept that inconvenience, to look deep down into how inconvenient it was, because a lot of school owners have started online learning without realizing the impact that it's going to have on children and teachers and parents. So it's important to understand any change that I'm trying to bring about, is it going to inconvenience, and how am I going to take care of that inconvenience? The next C stands for cognitive and thinking. Very important. We need to have people who know what to forward, who know what to read, and who know how to react. And to do that, it is cognition. Cognition is here. This is the only difference between us and the monkeys. The monkeys have brains, we have brains. But the monkeys don't have a prefrontal lobe, and we have that. So as human beings, it is very important for us to celebrate that one difference that we have from the monkeys, and stop behaving like monkeys, whether it's on WhatsApp or Facebook or in classrooms, in front of children, in front of parents, etc. So it's very, very important that we bring about this cognitive thinking in children. And that can only happen with inquiry-based classrooms. In classrooms where children are let to questions, they are celebrated when they have differences. So it's very important that we look after the C in ECCE, which stands for cognitive or thinking. And the last E, according to me, stands for engine. Engine, because early childhood education is the engine of life. It is from where everything starts. No train, no plane, no car, nobody can run without an engine. And it's high time we realize that the energy that this engine works on is play. Pure, simple play. But play doesn't mean, if you read Maria Montessori, why did she have to build her first Casa Bambini? It was in the slums of Rome. It was in the slums where the children were going haywire the whole day long because they had lost control about what to do. They had no routine, etc. So play is of both types. It is child-led, adult-led, it is child involved and adult involved. So if we keep together, now if you understand my EQ stands for emotional development. If you understand my CQ, it stands for communication and change. If you understand my TQ, it stands for thinking quotient. And my last, which is EQ, again, or you can say PQ, which stands for play quotient. So it is EQ plus CQ plus TQ plus PQ is equal to IQ. And if we in early childhood just remember these basics, every time we say, I run an ECCE center, or I am an ECCE teacher, or we go to the government and say, I want to help you in ECCE policies, it's very important we think about the 4 things that actually contribute to making ECCE quality for all children, rich, poor, everybody. So that's all that I have to say, because I am hugely passionate about ECCE, and I am speaking here today as the president of the Early Childhood Association and APER also. And I just want to urge all the schools. I know you started online learning, home-based learning, but please understand, home-based learning is not school at home, which means please don't put the child for 3 hours in front of the screen and the teacher going blah, 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 blah. Home-based learning means it's based at home with ideas from the school. So the parent and the teacher have the full opportunity to choose when to do, what to do. You may suggest how to do, but you can't control it. So it's very, very important that you take this opportunity, that anything happens in this world, we remember what ECCE actually stands for. So this is all that I have to say, Ravi. Ravi?
All right, yeah, I'm right here. I was just trying to unmute. And yes, you can see my ugly face again. So I will request all of you participants to please type in your questions in Q&A section only. Please do not type any questions on the chat screen. The chat screen is for you all to chat with each other, but Q&A section is specifically made for putting up questions over there. We have a few questions coming in. Do you want me to read these questions for you, or you'll pick it up on your own?
I can't, because I'm on a phone.
Okay, so first question for Lina is from Rashmi Kanakia. She asked, Lina ma'am, please suggest some simple options for starting online teaching of the curriculum of the preschools, if the preschools do not open for the next few months.
So we're already doing it. We've given a very simple framework of what's happening through the day, with a very strong message to parents that this is more about connection over content. So kids need to feel connected at this time. And we're also doing a lot to advise parents on what are the correct ways of approaching their children's emotional health at this time. So don't try, as Swati said, do not try and do school at home. This is just a time of connection. So we use Zoom. You can get all the kids online, so the kids see each other, they get very excited. We teach them about how to use the mute buttons like you taught us, Ravi. And then the teacher goes through a period of interaction, and then the kids in turn ask questions, and that's actually how we do it. Nursery rhymes today on our group chat, a very creative teacher made hand puppets out of towels, so that says much. Shows her heart in wanting to engage her kids really proactively.
Perfect. So I'm feeling like I'm Arnab Goswami today. So, Jayati Dhar from Pune is asking, hi, I'm a preschool teacher. During this hard time of lockdown, we are keeping our babies busy by sending 6 worksheets covering language, numbers, and pre-maths. Apart from, we are sending 4 activities. Is it enough? What shall we do? Swati ma'am, you want to take it?
Oh my God, that's too much. 6 worksheets in a day. Oh my God, it means what? Is that office work? Even I'm not doing that much of work at home. So I think you need to really lessen that load. Depending on the age group, I would say play school, nursery, try to avoid sending the worksheets unless they are fun, like find the way, etc. Junior, senior, 1 worksheet a day, because children are not going to be able to do more than that. So it's very important that you send more life skill based activities. I had mentioned in my previous webinar when we had it with Google that try to have more things like home chores. Very important that you can even do simple things in maths, like, you give them a piece of string and you tell them to go around the house and find anything that's as long as the string. So you'll be able to develop language, you will be making the child move around, you will be having math concept, of course. The child feels good about the same concept. So I would say whatever 6 worksheets you are giving, convert them into activities and send it to be more appreciated by the parents and children.
Thank you. Gunmeet Bindra ma'am asking you, Swati ma'am, please advise on how we can take online classes for the pre-primary children.
I always say don't get overwhelmed by very on Facebook Live, ask all the children of the class to come on Facebook Live with their parents and just have singing sessions, rhymes that they know. Start with that. Start with a simple storytelling. And don't forget to tell them that you are missing them. And don't forget to tell them to be safe and healthy. Start with Facebook Live. Then once you start feeling comfortable about it, because, I'll tell you what the problem teachers are facing, which I faced when I came first on online learning. I'm not able to see the audience. So I'm not able to see reactions. And I feed into audience reactions. So I don't know when I'm making an impact or I'm not making an impact. So just assume that everybody in the audience is enjoying, all the children are enjoying, and just give it a good go and you'll feel comfortable. So once you've got your footing in Facebook Live, then you can start off with Zoom or Google Classrooms. That is also working very well. Google Hangout works pretty well too. So you can then try your hand with different things, or send a combination of when they come online to see you, and combination of links of activities that you want them to do on their own. And when you come back the next day on live, discuss these activities with them, So they will feel that, okay, yeah, that activity which she gave me, she didn't just forget about it. So start with baby steps. That's one thing that we can learn from early childhood, is always to start with baby steps.
Thank you. Lina, I want to take this. Naga Jyoti Nanapaneni. She's asking if the child is repeating the same word which is spelled by the teacher, how do we behave with the child?
Sorry, say that again.
If the child is repeating the same words which is spelled by teacher, how do we behave with the child?
Everything you do right now just comes from a heart of love. I don't actually understand the question. But as Swati said, just don't take life so seriously right now. The preschoolers are in preschool, they're not at university. And even if they were at university, I'd say the same thing. This is a time not to take life as seriously as you've been taking it so far, and to approach everything with love. So, at this time, don't tell kids that they're wrong or anything else. Just make sure that when you come online, first you're just forming a sense of connection with the kids, which is more important right now. Emotional connection is more important than any content that you could ever teach the kids.
Great. So, okay, this is an interesting one. Ranganathan S. asked how to go about special needs children, how to make them concentrate.
I would like to add to this. I'm sure Lina also would like to take it up, but concentration is something that you cannot force onto children. So whether they are special needs or other needs, concentration is not something that you learn to get with these children. Concentration happens when the child feels attached, when the child feels engaged. And when you understand the child as a parent, when you understand that this is what interests my child, or these are the words that appeal to my child better, once you get that tuning between you and the child, you won't have to have these problems with concentration.
So just like to add a little bit, that we're actually finding that at this time, kids are focusing even more digitally than they were in the classroom. One is that the teachers are performing because they know they're in everyone's home. So they've upped the ante in terms of what they bring to the teaching learning experience. And kids are engaging at much higher levels. With special regards to special needs, our special needs teachers are continuing their one-to-one classes with the kids with special needs at this time.
Perfect. So we have many questions. I mean, we have 65 and counting, 68 and 72. Can you cancel your dinner plans and just be here for the next 7 hours? Okay, so this one brings, this question also brings some money to both of you. Where can we get to read articles or books by Swati or Lina ma'am? It is anonymous attendee. They don't want to share the name.
Amazon.
So they just need to search Swati Popat Vats on Amazon. How about you, Lina?
So the 2 books I've written can be purchased anywhere, but I've got a lot of free articles on. If you just Google Lina Ashar, there'll be a host of articles. Also, if you actually follow me on Instagram, the PR team that's led by Ravi yourself, they keep posting my articles on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So very easy ways, just join me on Instagram.
Bring me the money. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is not about money though. The future is not about money. It's not about competition. It's not about capitalism. It's about creating a collaborative future.
You cannot stop me by taking this PR opportunity for myself. So a lot of you have just heard that, when Lina uses our another company called Mad About Ed or the PR. So of course, if you're interested, please send as much money as you can and we'll be more than happy to take all. And from there, we move on to Urvashi Hazariwala. She's asking, how do we use digital platform for our preschool? How can motor skills be developed through digital format of teaching and learning? How do we convince parents to take admissions for play school, as this is a crucial age where learning must be directed into right mode? So there are 3 questions, Urvashi, you'll have to pay thrice. I'll repeat, how do we use digital platform for our preschools? How can motor skills be developed through digital format? And how do we convince parents to take admissions for play school? So I think it's an interesting one. If both of you could actually address this, how to get more admissions in play schools? I think, that's one question that everyone needs to ask and is asking.
Should I take it first? So one of the things I've asked our CEO to think about is, at this time, if we're doing follow-up calls for people who come and registered with us, it can feel highly intrusive. As a mom's trying to take care of her kids and the home and work from home and all the other things, I think this is the time to show that this is about contribution and collaboration and not about capitalism. So we send them inspirational activities to do, things that they can do with their kids at home. And basically, if you want to communicate who you are, what your brand stands for, do it in a way that's loving and emotional rather than intrusive and pushy, is my suggestion at the moment. And the PE through digital, there's lots and lots of things online to do. For adults, there's dance studios, there's exercise studios, there's something I use at my age, which is called walk at home. And for kids, there's similarly lots of engaging, hand, body activities, sing-alongs, etc., that the kids can just do. Just go to YouTube. It's simple as that.
So where admissions are concerned, I completely agree with what is said, that this is not the time for us to push for admissions or push for fees. We have to take it slowly. And most importantly, it is important for us to connect. This is not the right time for us to follow other schools which are doing a bad job. So you may find many schools saying, oh, I will give you free now for the next 3 months, no fees. And then they will want all the parents to join them. And then they will cut the teachers' salaries. They will cut because they have to function. So these are the kind of decisions that we need to stay away from. Right now is the time to see a larger picture as an educator, which we all are, that how can I impact those who are already enrolled in my school and those who have not yet enrolled in my school. So the focus should be about making the larger impact, larger reach. And once you do that, I'm sure parents are quite discerning and they will know the difference and would want to join you in the future if and when we open. And where PE is concerned, I feel yoga is one of the best things that adults and children should do. There are 2 very good dance and exercise groups which are part of ECCE. One is Folk Fitness, which is run by a very good Pune committee member. And we have Swara also, who takes very good sessions every evening at 6:30. So very importantly, if you are not a member of the ECCE WhatsApp groups, then please become, join us, and you will be part of so many things that are available and you'll be able to reach out to them.
And another friend of mine just sent us on Facebook Live. He's asking, can you ask Swati and Lina both which is one good motivational line for teachers who are still not fully trained? I mean, which is your favorite quote that you keep on saying to your teachers?
Lina, would you like to go first?
Okay, my favorite quote that I share with all teachers is, if you want to touch the past, you touch a rock. If you want to touch the present, you touch a flower. And if you want to touch and impact the future of the world, you connect with the child. That's my favorite quote. And I think it just gives teachers an understanding of the powerful impact that they have in the transformation of the world.
So I have two. I always tell teachers, because we have a teacher training college, we have around 146 of them pan-India. So we have a tagline there which says, teach is to touch a life forever. But when I see teachers struggling with their confidence or with their learning, I always make them hear the story of Thomas the engine. And there is a word that says, I can, I can, I can. So that's very important for teachers to get their inspirations from childhood stories, from Snoopy, from Garfield, and of course from Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh has some of the best motivations that a teacher can have, because it's very important to also learn self-motivation, especially in times like these.
Okay.
I think also as we teach, teachers teach the kids about having a growth mindset. They learn to embrace the same, which is, making mistakes is just part of the journey. It only helps you learn and grow and develop.
Okay, so I'm now moving from Zoom to Facebook, and I'll pick up a few questions from there and throw towards you both. There was this interesting question which I have to scroll back. Chitra Tyagarajan Santosh on Facebook has asked, don't you think that screen time would increase the dependency on it and will be very difficult for kids to overcome once traditional schools start?
Lina, would you like to take it first?
So technology is the way forward as far as I'm concerned. It's just, it's historically, if we look back when we first invented print, we all resisted print. Socrates said things like it'll, take away our kids' memories, blah, blah, blah. The thing is to use technology in a way that empowers you and doesn't disempower you. So I tell parents that if kids watch you from the morning to evening using technology in a wise way, so when you wake up, you're using it for meditation, you're using it for yoga, you're using it for exercise, you're using it to learn, you're using it to grow, and you're not using it for social media and for consuming content that is not going to empower you anyway. I said, that's just fantastic. And for me, technology is something that's here to stay. It's just us empowering kids to use it in the right way.
I agree with these points. Also, what I would like to add is that when, in preschools, we teach children about signal, the traffic signal, though these children they don't cross the road on their own. I feel schools should now add in their curriculum technology or digital literacy, the do's and don'ts of when you are using a mobile phone or a screen, what's the distance that you should keep from the screen, how often you should blink, and how long should be one session at a screen. And as Lina said, also try to do different things with the screen and not just reading. So I completely agree with her. I think when the Stone Age man started writing on the walls, people were shocked, and with every new change that's coming in society, we are still going, and without any research or anything. In fact, BBC has a wonderful video, a documentary that they have made on the positive impact of screen time. Google search it, and you'll be amazed when you see that documentary.
Okay, Arunav Singh on Facebook is asking what
Arunav Singh, our dearest Arunav Singh.
And, there are so many questions that, I look at one and there are 60 more which are coming. So I'll again have to scroll this up. He was basically asking him, what is the right time to go live or maybe online classes for the preschoolers during the day?
So the time to go live, the best time is if the child has slept well and it has a good amount of food in the tummy, that's the right time to go live. Then the child will have a little bit of concentration. If the child is hungry, cranky, feeling sleepy, not the right time. So I think that's why I said keep your timetable for digital online learning flexible. Keep your timings of live session also recorded. So if a child is not able to catch you live on Facebook, the parent can always show the child the recorded session, because to the child, the live and the recorded are the same. So I think we need to work on children's needs and abilities and take our own call based on that.
And, of course, I deal with older kids as well. So the great thing is that, we treat teenagers in a very cruel way, making them, log up, reach school at like 8 o'clock in the morning. This is the time when we can actually, give some relaxation around that and perhaps start school at 11 in the morning when it's actually more conducive for their brains to learn.
Yeah, there's a research on that teenager brain only starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. And no school till now has made a note of that. Sad.
Ravi, do we only have early childhood teachers and online, or do we have older teachers who are dealing with older kids online as well?
When we do webinar with these two powerhouses and these beautiful women, I mean, the screens are bombarding and there are hundreds of questions. I can't concentrate. There are so many questions here.
Lina, it's an ECCE webinar. So naturally, the more questions will be from ECCE.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, why I love Early Childhood Association, because half of the questions and the inquiries on Facebook Live are being answered by ECA core committee members who are telling them how to join the WhatsApp group when you said a few minutes back.
Oh, I love that thing.
The entire force working on behalf of, ECA. And Pearl Trutbeen asked, how much should parents be involved in homeschooling, as parents depend that the school should do all?
Oh, lovely. It's called homeschooling. So which means the school sends you the idea and you are supposed to do it with the child. Yeah. Hopefully now the parents will realize the importance of early childhood teachers and we will get better wages. But jokes aside, parents have to get involved. I understand the frustration that parents are going through. In fact, that is why one of our vice presidents, Ruchita Darsha, who leads a community called First Moms Club, has kept a live session with us. She's kept it at a very nice timing. It's at 9:30 in the night on Friday, because parents are really, really anxious about how to handle home-based learning. And for them, again, I would like to say, you will have to juggle it. You will have to understand on a particular day when your office is very busy and keeping you busy at home, do the homeschooling at that time by giving priority to the other things, because otherwise your mind will be constantly on your work and you will not be able to do a good job with the child. So flexible, I think, is the mantra.
Okay, so you know what, I was just going through a lot of questions here, and I think we can think of a very interesting idea, because a lot of questions...
Ravi, can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
I saw a brilliant question that came up from somebody called Sonali. Mm-hmm. And she said, should we give homework during home-based learning? Mm-hmm. Sonali dear, they are already doing the work at home, which they were supposed to do in school. So, abhi usme bhi tum homework doge? Come on, sweetheart, leave them alone.
I think if we can prioritize the children's emotional and mental health right now, it's way more important than any content that they're going to consume, be it digitally or parents doing it or in any other way. So, and for children to be emotionally resilient, the parents need to be emotionally stable and resilient. So I think parents, as Swati said, just be flexible. It's preschool. I'm only talking to preschoolers. I'm assuming, so it's only preschool. It's not the beginning and end of the world. Even if your children were not to do a year of preschool, just the fact that you are home with your child using a lot of language and children are seeing you doing things is fantastic. There's an article I wrote about purposeful parenting that is very apt for the times, which is about the learning impact of children doing chores and what they learn from it. Again, that's available on my LinkedIn or my Facebook.
So I would like to disagree in some way with Lina that it doesn't matter if your child doesn't attend preschool. Very important for us to understand, both as parents and teachers right now, is that preschool is important. There is enough of research on that, but it is always quality preschool. So which means if you're going to send your child to a preschool where the child is going to get stressed with learning which is not age appropriate, and you are now going to do the same in home-based learning, then that kind of a preschool, as Lina said, is absolutely not effective, and you would rather not do those activities with the child. But yes, there is an impact of preschool. You must read James Heckman's theory on the benefits of preschool. And that is what many countries have started investing in preschool because of that. So it is very important, as both Lina and I have been saying, that this is the time to invest in their emotional development, in their social development, in their language, and in their physical. When these four developments come together, automatically your cognitive development will benefit. I know there are parents who are worried that the child may forget to write and the child may not know how to write. But writing is something that's like cycling. You may not do it for some time, but when you start doing it, you remember it all over again. So I would just say, chill, don't worry about these things.
Swati, let me just reposition what I'm saying. I'm just saying at this point in time, which we don't know whether the lockdown is for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, the emotional well-being is more important than anything else. That's what I'm not discounting the importance of preschool. I'm just discounting it at this period of time.
Yeah, but I have to be careful. No, Lina, we lead a whole organization. I will have so many school owners saying, y'all said this on online and parents heard it. So that's why I had to correct that.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I have a couple of things here. For many of you who are asking on Facebook Live and on Zoom Q&A and chat, how do we join the WhatsApp groups that Swati ma'am just mentioned? I suggest that you all go on ECCE.org, Early Child Association India website, and through contact us page, I mean, you can ask all those things and someone will respond to you. So that is that. I'll ask one more question and I'll play an interesting thing with both of you, which will answer pretty much all the questions here. But there's a very beautiful question by Richa Bhattacharya, who is asking, hello, Dr. Swati ma'am. Myself, Richa Bhattacharya, primary teacher. Please suggest how could I make a classroom environment in my own room when we are taking online classes of these little toddlers? How beautiful is that to—
That's a wonderful question.
Your room and just give them a little feel that they are in their own room. Beautiful.
Absolutely. So see, it's very difficult right now to do that because teachers didn't get time before the lockdown to get some artifacts, etc. from the school. But if you can keep quotes or pictures which you have downloaded, and if you have a printer at home, do print them. Or if you can just keep different backgrounds, like you can stand in the balcony sometimes and take a class if it is about birds, etc. So if you just focus on that, I would say bring about some diversity in the way the children see you, because primary children are able to adjust more easily to change than the early childhood children. So it is very important that, yes, you be the constant factor and don't worry so much about the environment. Think of things that you used to speak in the class that would remind them about the fun that they had in the classroom. You know, you can do things like telling them, do you remember how to go to your classroom? Come on, I think we had to climb the stairs and then we had to take a left from the library. So if you give them this visual map while you are talking to them, it kind of takes them back to the classroom and makes them feel connected.
I think this is a really important time that kids also understand that, you know, that you're a real human being and in a real home, and your smile and your face are all that the kids need at this point in time. I've got, you know, WhatsApp groups of parents sending messages about how excited the kids are just that the teachers are online and the teachers are showing their homes, and, you know, it's, I think your face and your smile is your classroom. So.
Okay, so a couple of more questions and then we play it in a very different manner. Lina says, I'm finding very difficult to connect with the teachers. They doesn't have proper internet connections or laptop facility to work from home. they are finding hard to manage the kids, family, and anxiety due to Corona and work as well. I'm totally puzzled what next, need advice. So this is one question that you could answer. Second and the last question that I'm taking is from Shweta Gupte, which of course later, after you answer these questions, I mean, you could answer, after the schools reopen, how can we connect with the kids in a better way since we have lost that 1 month of the settling period? With that, I'll ask you both ladies to just hold on. There are hundreds of these people asking you what to do during lockdown. And of course, we all know that you are both the powerhouse of early childhood education. Why don't you start with telling these people that what are you doing at Kangaroo Kids? What is that online learning method, and what are the things, which articles, which music, which film, and what are the assignments or the play-based methodology you're using with Kangaroo Kids? And then Swati ma'am, you could go and share what are you doing at Podar Jumbo Kids and how are you engaging these little toddlers at home. So I think 80% of the questions will be sorted with that.
Sure. Lina, go for it.
Okay, so we have a very strong instructional design that we've opened up and sent out, and they have the links to whether it's a video or it's a PowerPoint or whatever else the teacher needs. So the resources are going home. In terms of connection, I think today, even with a 4G connection and using Zoom or any of the others, platforms, I think you've got enough bandwidth, and at least in most of the metros, we should be okay. As Swati said earlier, where you don't, if you can record your sessions and then send them out, that's also a possibility. I think as far as bandwidth is concerned, there are no other answers than that. But I think what Swati said that is really important is what do you do at this time? I mean, even sending parents ideas, like, if you're doing classification or sorting or whatever, you can sort spoons, big spoons from small spoons, or white clothes from colored clothes, or there's various ways in which you can give exciting ideas for the parents, and then parents even understand beyond this time how they can engage their kids at home in a way that's purposeful and also has a learning outcome.
So I would say when we started planning the Podar Jumbo Kids online home-based learning, we kept it a mix. We kept it a mix of live sessions and a mix of links that we have sent the parents. Now we are lucky because we have a portal between the school and the parents. So whatever we have to send to the parents is uploaded like a timetable, and parents just click on it and they get it. When they go live, my teachers are going live on Facebook. So each class teacher is going live at a particular time and she's talking to the children. Yes, a lot of teachers faced problems about I am having to do so much at home, I'm not able to give time for this. So we handled those cases on a case-to-case basis and kind of counseled them with a phone call that tell us when and at what time do you have less work and that you can feed this in that timetable. Because when you were going to school, you did have those 3 hours. Now, all that is being asked from you is 30 minutes or maximum 20 minutes. So this is when we face these kind of issues, they are called the inconvenience, which I talked about, that change is always inconvenient. So at times like this, it is important for us to counsel the teachers, help them understand, make a routine, and then they bounce back. We had a lot of parent feedbacks today because we went live from today. 7th April was when all our schools opened. We are an April opening schools. So we had a lot of feedback from parents. Some was good, some was congratulatory. A few feedback I would like to share with you. One of the parents said that my child just refuses to sit when I'm asking him to do a particular activity. What should I do? So we said, don't force. Second thing, make the child talk to the classmates, some best friend that the child had in school, and then steer the conversation to what that friend did today, which was sent by the teacher. So children learn best by imitation. So when you do that, children will automatically get motivated, because many children don't get motivated by adults. They get motivated by their peer group. So that's very, very important point to keep in mind. We are using Zoom. We are using Facebook Live, and most importantly, which many people have not given any focus on, is the fact that, no, I don't have corona, don't worry. It's just I'm talking too much. I've written a story. I've posted it on my Facebook page today. You can download it. And tomorrow I will be posting the same story without Podar Jumbo Kids logo so that all of you can use it. It's a story that talks about coronavirus and explains it to the children. And it then talks about how children are missing school and what is online learning, that your teacher is going to come on a screen and she's going to talk to you. She's going to do this. And the story also talks about the questions that children have not asked, like, will I ever go to school, or is this going to be how it's always going to be? So this story is a lovely starting point. We've sent it out to all our parents and we've asked them to show it to the children. We had made an induction PowerPoint for the parents that this is what is going to come to you, this is how it will look, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do it with the children. So we've given every possible training to every possible individual involved in home learning. But I'm sure we will still face hiccups. We will still face roadblocks. Please remember, change, inconvenience. So we just have to learn to get over it and to embrace those mistakes that somebody pointed out to you and say, okay, good. Thank you for pointing out that to us and we will change it to this. But if you feel what you've done is right, and the parent is cribbing just because the parent is anxious and frustrated, go on a call and explain to the parent what it is. Like, for example, I had an email today from a parent who said, as it is, I have so much of work and you all are trying to push the whole curriculum onto me. Isn't it your duty? So we reassured the parent by saying, relax, no worries. All this is going to be done again when the school opens. That parent actually took a huge sigh of relief and said, oh, thank God, I thought I am the one who's going to teach the child and you are not going to do it. So it's just simple things like this that goes a long way in making your home-based online learning a success.
Ravi, we're lucky we already had started a technology-based app. It's called Skippy Tech, and it's got all our readers online in auto read mode and other modes, and it also has all the activities, MI based activities, including bodily kinesthetic and visual logical. So when parents are busy, we just ask them to allow kids to play with the learning app.
Perfect. So I will request all the viewers on Zoom and on Facebook Live, please take out a pen and paper, or maybe just open your screen on your laptop or mobile on notes. And now I'm going to ask a question from Swarna Dev, which is a very apt question. And to both of you, can you suggest any online courses for teachers to enhance their knowledge base? Any books, any articles, or anything that you would want these teachers to enhance their skills while the lockdown is there? I'm sure we have done a couple of times in our magazine about, the best picks from Swati ma'am on early childhood. And I'm sure Lina has also books. It doesn't have to be about early childhood. It could also be about some other domain. So can you quickly think of a few books or any courses, Lina and Swati ma'am, and tell these people who are watching us live, and they will, note it down, and or maybe they can refer to this video later on in the recording.
So you want to go first, Swati?
No,
Why don't you go first? I'm using this time two ways. One is to whatever we need to learn in order for us to, do our jobs. But the second thing is, what are we learning in terms of what is of personal interest? One of the guys I listen to in a very big way, and I'm learning a lot from, is Dr. Bruce Lipton, who's looking at this entire time as something that's going to lift human consciousness. Of course, there's a lot of great learning on Udemy, on Coursera, on FutureLearn. And everyone's demonetized and opened up everything. That's one of the opportunities everyone has at the moment. There's a lot of free learning online. You simply have to type in, and there you go. You've got the world is your oyster as far as learning is concerned online.
Okay, so the first things I would ask all of you to do is you must subscribe to educational magazines. ScooNews is one such educational magazine which comes out with excellent articles. but I also write quite frequently for Education World and Brain Feed magazines. So this trinity of educational magazines in our country is, I think, a must-have for every educator. Secondly, I would like you all to read some books which are, I think, available free online. One of them is Toto Chan. Toto Chan is something that if you read, it's the story, it's a real story of a Japanese journalist and her struggles when she was a primary years child. So Toto Chan and Kobayashi, a wonderful read for every teacher of every age group. So it's not necessary that you have to be an ECE teacher or a primary years teacher. Deva Swapna, this is the right time for you to go into the world of Gijubhai. And I think if Gijubhai was alive today, he would have been the first one to bring about a revolution in home-based learning. Because even at that time, 150 years back, when teachers were just about chalk and board, he brought this revolution called Deva Swapna. So I would urge all of you, it's available online, free, download it. It's in a PDF format in English. So that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing for you to learn. Online courses, Early Childhood Association has the perfect online course for you. It is an ECCE course for people who are already in the field. So if you want to enhance your knowledge about the field, then please enroll for the online ECCE program that we run. I think Podar is starting 2 programs. One is a nature-based course. It's on nature kindergartens with Claire Warden, and a leadership program. So both are again online. So if you all are very interested in that, and if you want to learn about how different apps work, I think the 3 apps that I love, which are doing a very good job, are Khan Academy Kids, Boot Kids, and which was the third one? Born Smart. Born Smart app is one of the best apps for games that you want to play with very young children. So these are my recommendations.
Perfect. So another task for all of the attendees who have asked questions on Zoom, specifically people who are on Zoom, please listen to me carefully. Scroll up in the Q&A section. If your question has not been answered, copy it, paste it on ScooNews FB live page right away. I will not let these 2 ladies sleep this evening. Please, ma'am and Swati ma'am, as in when you get time, there are many questions and people are posting the questions more than 3 or 4 times, the same question. Please take out some time and go on ScooNews Facebook page on this live video, which will be converted to a normal video after this live session goes off. And please see if you could answer it over there. So I think...
Ravi, I also have another suggestion.
Sure.
If you can compile all the questions and send them to me and Lina, you can have our views on each question and publish it in your magazine. So everybody has it always with them as a ready reckoner.
My editorial team is right now watching this and they will be doing a story super soon. But I think the easiest thing that we can do, because you see, we are busy in making these shields. So
I know.
And I will request you all to, as and when, today or tomorrow, whenever you get time, go on ScooNews Facebook page and you will, it's easy. I mean, you'll have to just, give small little 1 or 2 liner answers on that. Last question, since we are at 4 o'clock and we have other things to do as well after this. I mean, making a lot of shields and going to the doctors and delivering it. Chaheti Bhandari has asked how to make a nursery child feel connected when they are new to schools and have never seen the teachers before.
I'm so happy she asked this. Lina, would you like to go first?
Well, I think this is an ideal time for us to do that. And, our teachers themselves have come up with the ideas that kids are feeling so connected that what if we did this, virtual interaction with kids when they're at home and we're at school before the kids actually ever come to school. Before they even start the settling period or, the separation anxiety. What if we get them familiar and comfortable with our faces beforehand? So a great way to look at, an opportunity from an adversity or something that, teachers are doing right this very minute.
That's wonderful. And another thing which I would say is it's a transition of the child from the parent to the teacher. So it's very important that we send something to the parent to talk to the child about school and how right now the school is going to come to the house through the screen, and that's your teacher and her name is so-and-so. And if the teacher can send some little details about herself, like I like tigers and I love to do jump rope and I love to eat oranges. So, if you make it more personalized and the parent is then going to help you introduce to the child, it works better that way because it's known to unknown. So I would suggest doing that also.
Well, here we are at the end of the webinar. Time is a constraint here. I'm still okay. If you want, I can go out and work with my team and you both can continue here till whatever time you want to. But I suggest everyone to quickly, we have another 2 minutes. I'll make this, go live for another 2 minutes so that you can copy all your questions from Q&A section in Zoom and paste it on the Facebook Live of ScooNews. And specifically write, that question is for whom, either Lina or Swati or both. And I promise that I will chase them every day until each and every question is answered. So,
and Ravi, I would like to thank you on behalf of myself and Lina for organizing this fantastic webinar, and what a lovely idea, Swalina. And I think this has been one of the smoothest webinars that I have attended. Because it didn't break even once, and I'm sure the audience that is attending also will agree. And to all of those who are attending, we have, I think, another webinar tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And on Friday, I'm going to go live on Crosswords Facebook page. And this time in a new avatar, I'm telling a story to children. It's Zelda the zebra and how the mouse teaches the lion about Corona. So you will see a completely new avatar of me, a more Mad Hatter avatar, Friday 4 p.m. on the Crosswords page.
Okay, so this was about pre-primary. I made this. Thank you, Swati. Thank you very much. All our
Lina, you were great.
You were, Swati. Thank you so much, Ravi. Thank you.
I will give your mobile numbers to each other. You can do that pleasantry exchange. Thank you very much. I think, by far, this was one of the most super hit, webinar. All thanks to you celebrity educators. I'd rather call you SRKs of early childhood and Salmans of early childhood. You can, again, argue, who wants to become what. So I think we have 504 people. That is the limitation on Zoom. Then on Facebook, we have 588 live people, people watching live. And in total, there are 58 shares of that Facebook Live. So there are 58 handles or pages of people, who are sharing this. So I think over and about, 10,000 people are watching this together. So thank you very much. This is amazing, and see you all soon, super soon on the other side. I think the next webinar is on Thursday, 3 p.m. India time, wherein we are having, let me just open that and actually give you, the first look of the next webinar. And you will see Swati ma'am again there. I'm just going to share my screen and give you this. This is our next webinar. Children can only aspire to what they know exists. This is a panel discussion, and this will be chaired by Dr. Gergros OBE. He's the Global Director of Education, Kidzania. Then Joe's Papa, if you watch Spanish web series, you will pronounce him at Jose Papa. He's the Global Director of Bed Show, UK. A lot of you educators go there every year and end up shopping at Primark. And then again, you'll have Dr. Mary Ashon. She's the principal of Ghana International School in Accra. You'll have our SRK of Early Childhood Education. We also call her Mother of Early Childhood Education in India, Dr. Swati Popat once again. And my dear friend, my mentor, and my beer buddy, Dr. Arunabh Singh, who is the director of Nehru World School. So these are the 5 people who will be going live on Thursday, April 9 at 3 p.m. IST, India time. So you'll have global some audience. That's why we've written the London time as well. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen so that you don't see anything else that I'm looking at right now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay safe, I was saying stay safe and stay indoor. No, stay indoors. And please follow our Prime Minister. He has been urging us in India. Swati ma'am, you want to say something about making these people stay home And Lina, you two after that?
I think Lina should say first.
Okay.
Well, what I'd like to say is that, I know this is a time of anxiety for everyone, a time of uncertainty, but we all know that uncertainty is the only certainty we have in life. And, emotionally intelligent people actually know how to deal with uncertainty because they see it as very much part of life. Just make the best of this time. Look at what it's giving us. It's giving us clean air. It's giving us, I can hear the birds every morning. It's giving me peace, no sound pollution. And it's giving me great time to spend with family and by doing chores, lose some weight. So yeah, it's a win-win for all. So stay home, stay safe.
And people are also being able to see Canada from Punjab.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay, I would like to say two things. Number one is please, please, please don't get into these battles about Hindu, Muslim, etc. There are Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Catholics, and then there are co-idiots. So please understand there is a whole category which is unreligion based. They are actual co-idiots. So I don't want anybody to become a co-idiot. So please be at home and please understand that be ready mentally for this lockdown to be extended. It can get extended because our numbers have not dropped in this country thanks to some COVID-idiots. But it's very important that if we now are going to extend the lockdown, it shouldn't be a hoo-ha about why, what and all. Understand it's for our safety, it's for our life. As it said in Hindi, jaan hai to jahan hai. And my lovely writer husband, Pathik, has written a very nice line. He said, na panic karo, na picnic karo.
Wonderful. So, today is the day for premiere of a lot of things. And I think I will also share something which we are going to share on our social media starting tomorrow. Just on the lines of COVID-idiots. This is a new term which has been introduced on the social media these days. Taking a cue from there, we, ScooNews and Mad About Ed has come forward with these quotes. First is Korean, which is headache caused by children, spouse staying at home all day. This is something that we are going to make it live. Second is Carpe Diem, which is seize the day indoors. Then community is the communities united by Corona, divided by stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. And finally, karaoke, a playlist to sing aloud in your living rooms now that bathroom singers have some more space and time. And also it means a playlist that people sing together from their windows. With that, I'm signing off. Thank you very much, everyone, once again for joining. And I am sure I didn't share my screen before doing that. And I will send these quotes to you on email. And thank you once again. And it's a goodbye from Jaipur and Mumbai and the entire India. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.